look at our off-grid solar calculator, part 2.
Hi, welcome to Dave's Corner of the World. Have a great day.
Going to be looking at the power audit, both the 120 volts and the 12 volt. There's two different pages here. First we'll go over the 120 volt section. These are things like the TV, and believe it or not, most things in your house, even though they're turned off, they still run a little bit of power. Maybe not much, but over a 24-hour period, those things add up at only 8.3 watt hours of power, but those little things add up over time. Okay, I have totally quit watching TV, DVDs. I'm much too busy with other things here at the RV park. I'm outside most of the time until it gets dark, and then I go to bed. Then I get up and start all over again in the morning, so I haven't watched TV for a long time. Turned off my satellite probably 4 months ago. Probably the best move I ever made. Saved myself about 120 bucks a month. That's nice. And there is a few things that I have. If you remember, I live in a 40-foot diesel-powered motorhome. I have a refrigerator that's run on 120 volts only, and a chest-type freezer that's run on 120 volts only. Now, we know that there's averages, because the refrigerator and the deep freeze do not run 24/7. You know, they don't run 24 hours a day. I took a watt meter and put on the refrigerator for 10 days, and I determined that on an average it took 22 watts of power per hour. Same way with the chest type freezer, it took 25 watts. So we'll put all of our loads in here, and how much each load uses in this column, how many hours a day they are run here. Then the calculator will automatically populate this column here. At 22 watts of power for 24 hours, that's 607.2 watts. Now that's figured in a 15% inverter inefficiency factor. I've already programmed that in, so that's, if you multiply this out, it's not going to come up with 607. I added in a 15% inefficiency for the inverter on this entire total here. So in my case, I don't need these things anymore. But if I want to run the coffee pot, it runs 650 watts while it's running. But it will only run for maybe, what, 7 or 8 minutes? Let's say 6 minutes. That's 0.1 part of an hour. 0.1 of an hour. So that's 77 watts that the coffee pot uses. And it added up right here. It figured that in, and it changed this number down here. I'm going to take this back out. When I hit 0 and enter, you watch this number. It will reduce by 77.6. So there's 0. Watch that number over there. There. See it drop down. So this is all automatic. Now, if you don't have enough lines, you've almost got to have. I mean, otherwise you're not going to be able to do solar off-grid if you have this much stuff. If you have more stuff than this, and sometimes it's winter things and other times it's summer things, like you might have a heater, you might have something else, scroll down and there's lots more room that you can put in the name of the item, how much power it's going to use per hour, how many hours per day are you going to use it. Then you can just copy this, paste it back, paste it right here, and it will automatically calculate and add up your results. Okay, that's pretty much it for the 120 volt power audit. Now let's go to the 12 volt power audit. Works exactly the same as the 120 volt, except for here I have things like the furnace motor. Don't forget, I live in an RV, motorhome, and we have a 12 volt furnace motor. Pulls 93.8 watts of power per hour. Now at night when it gets cold, if you have your furnace on, let's say for 8 hours at night, a rule of thumb is going to be that you're going to have not quite half of the time that the furnace motor is going to run. So let's say if we run 8 hours a night, the furnace runs 8 hours a night, we're going to run 3.5 hours here. So I'm going to enter 3.5 and hit enter. Now watch over here. This is going to take a lot of power. It's going to take a lot of watts to do that. 328.8 watts. Well, that's not very much. That's 3 panels, 3 100 watt panels in the hottest part of the day for 1 hour. That's only 3 panels. When you figure it that way, it's quite a bit. Okay, so it's the middle of summertime, or beginning to get summertime now, so I don't use my furnace, so I can delete that out. Baby monitor and baby monitor light, that's an indication for me on my solar monitor that I use, and I can check how much power I'm using, how much power I'm putting out, producing anytime 24 hours a day, just by logging on. So here's other things in here, and well, these are a lot of lights, but I use a headlamp almost exclusively anymore, obviously, except for when I take a shower and shave, and I figure that to be 15 minutes a day on an average in the bathroom above the mirror for that sort of thing. So I don't shave every day. I should, but I don't. Anyway, that's just kind of what I figured, ballpark. Water pump, use that maybe 6 minutes a day altogether. So this is the way the power audit works. Over here, DC applications from this page. From this page, and if we had any items listed over here, we would add this page and this page together, and it would put it over here. But as you can see, it's only 1542.7 right here, because there's no applications in this column on this page. 120 volt, that's from the previous page. That was 2078.5 watts for a total of 3621.2 watts. Now, I mean, this is figured on bare minimum. So when we go to the next page, next video, we'll figure for, say, 4,000 watts. That gives us a little bit of leeway. Okay, well, I think that's it for the power audit section. This is part 2 of our off-grid solar calculator software. Please subscribe, hit the bell to get notified every time I post a new video.